Well, hello, Rissa Chats. I've not been on here for a long time, have I? Basically, I've been away, like, trying to find myself. If any of you watch my vlogs, you'll know that last year was really shit. And I can't put it any other way. It was terrible. I had an awful year last year. And I've been working on myself and doing things to make sure that I never have another year like that. Because I just can't. And I realised some stuff through like prayer and meditation and spiritual practice that I do that, I wanted to just share with you. And it's something that's been, sort of playing on my mind that I feel like I need to get on here and share. So just, through learning through life skills and from, the last year and how awful it was, and even, the last few years, just things that have happened in life over the years where I've just thought, there's got to be another way. This can't just be it. And at one point I got really stressed out and quite low, depressed. And I think that when that happens, especially when you're trying to find yourself, you're basically, you get low to come back out of it again. It's kind of, what do they say? They say there's like that thing where they say that you sort of hit rock bottom in order to be able to climb back up. And that's kind of how I felt. But one thing that I've noticed just recently and for quite some time, and it really, I cannot tell you how much it gets on my wick. It really does. Even now, like, I'm probably doing what they're doing, but it's just, I just want to put it out there that it gets on my nerves when people moan constantly about the most ridiculously stupid things. Silly. It'll mean a lot to them at the time, but it would be silly stuff. Oh, the price of milk went up. Oh, I don't know, run out of toilet roll, and I couldn't get my usual brand, my like quilted, double, triple quilted loo roll, so I had to get the cheap one. Like that sort of stuff, or like just people moaning about silly things. Us English people are known for moaning. We're known for it. We moan about everything. The weather, we moan that our tea's not too strong or not strong enough. We moan because the milk's wrong, because it hasn't got enough sugar. We moan about everything, literally. Everything that we can moan about, we will moan about. And I see it constantly where people are moaning about silly things. And I don't know if it's just my brain's just wired differently. I don't know. It's something that I'm looking into. But if it's just like, there's something different there where all of a sudden I'll just be like, why are you moaning about this? Why? Why are you moaning? Just be happy. And I've learned over the last few years, especially since having major life events happen and then me really feeling crappy about just being alive in general, that I suddenly realised that there's only one way to deal with this. And you have to be, because to be honest with you, those people will still annoy you a little bit if they're moaning about silly stuff. But it's just because they're not on the same level with you. I've done a video about that. If you look through my other videos, there's not many on here. But if you look for my other ones, you'll see the one that I've done about your friendship group changing and how you leveled up. So I've done a video all about the, leveling up and stuff like that. So if people are not on the same like frequency as you, if you like, if they're not on this, if they're on like the moaning frequency where they're just going to moan about everything, they will find more stuff to moan about. It's as simple as that. So I figured that the best way to get rid of that for myself and to be able to get through life without waking up in the morning and thinking, what the F is this about? Why the F am I here having to put up with all of this crap? That's how I was feeling at the time. And I literally just was minding my own business, deep thinking, meditation, prayer, and all of that stuff. And I suddenly went, just be happy. It's that simple. Just wake up and go, I'm going to be happy today. I do it with sobriety. So I wake up and I say, today I'm going to be sober, because they say just for one day at a time, just for today, be sober. So I wasn't ever alcoholic dependent, but I wanted to give up binge drinking, and that's hard as well, you know, because you get into a habit of binge drinking. So I gave up drinking a while ago, and I've never felt better. It's the best thing that I've ever done. And I kind of utilised that one day at a time, just for today, I'm not going to drink, with this happiness thing. Just for today, I'm going to be sober and I'm going to be happy. So every morning I do the exact same thing. If I get up and I stub my toe and I swear, and the, you know, cat's like poops, you know, on the floor or something, or which they don't very often, but, you know, or they brought me like a dead bird or something like that, stuff that's gross to me. Instead of getting the hump about it now, I just go, just for today, I'm going to be happy. And then that stuff just doesn't bother me anymore. And then for the rest of the day, I find other stuff to be happy about. It's basically basic law of attraction. So, you know, people get really confused about the law of attraction. The law of attraction can be confusing, and you are kind of in danger of doing it wrong, unless you have to have like, you have to be like such an optimist, I think, for it to work. Because if you've got like a pessimist streak where you literally go, actually, you'll have that moment where you'll go, I believe that I'm going to get money today. And this is a lot, the money one's a big thing with law of attraction. But they'll say to you, right, you need to make sure that you put the exact amount and then you give it to the universe and you forget about it. And most people, especially people like me who are broke anyway, you get up, you go, yes, today I'm going to make 200 quid. Because you think there's something like a good amount, where like a lower amount where you think a 200 quid is achievable, right? So you go, yes, I'm going to make £200 today, and I'm going to give it to the universe. And then about an hour later, you go, well, where's it going to come from? And oh yeah, sure enough, 200 quid is just going to appear in my pocket, ain't it? You know, you have moments like that. So that's why it just never works. So if you just choose to be happy, you'll be surprised at what comes up. The other day, it was so silly. I was like, do you know what? I really would love a hot chocolate. And I was thinking about it, and I didn't have any. And I was thinking, this is like, what I would like is a hot chocolate. It'd be lovely to have a hot chocolate right now. It'd be such a nice thing. Make such a change to coffee and tea and good old water, you know. It was that kind of thing, and it's like the silliest thing. But I've been doing this practice of, I'm just going to be happy for today. So I'm finding things to be happy about all day. We'd been to a wedding that day, so I was like, I was so happy to be at this wedding, and I was so happy to be at the venue. It was a barn, and it was really beautiful surroundings. And, you know, I found a couple of dogs, and I love dogs, so I was like happy to see them. And, you know, I was happy to like be out with my husband, and like, it was just nice. I was just having a happy day, minding my own business. And we'd spent the day at the wedding, and we decided to leave early because I wasn't feeling that brilliant. So I was like, we'll just go about, I don't know, 8:30, 9. So we go back to the hotel where we're going, and we walk in, and my husband goes, because there was a McDonald's like 5 minutes away, and he goes, how would you like a nice Mackey's coffee? And I was like, I will love a nice Mackey's hot chocolate. And he comes back, and they'd accidentally given him 2 hot chocolates instead of 1. So I ended up walking one of them back to get his coffee, because he's not a hot chocolate drinker. But I got my hot chocolate. I spent the entire day being really happy, and I was like, I would love a hot chocolate, and a hot chocolate would be such a nice thing right now, and then completely forgot about it and just continued about my day finding stuff to be happy about, because I woke up that morning and went, today's going to be a great day, and I'm going to be really happy. Just for today, I'm going to spend my day being happy. And sure enough, my hot chocolate turned up about 10 hours later. So, you know, it works. Try it. Because I know that, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm a realist, and I know that sometimes life kicks you in the balls. It just does. It kicks you in the balls, normally when you're least expecting it. But if you can just find something happy. I recently read a book, a Richard E. Grant book, and it is amazing. If you can get it, go get it and read it. It's brilliant. But it's called A Pocket Full of Happiness, and it will make you laugh and cry and just bring out all of these emotions from you. But it's actually about, it's kind of like a diary, and it's actually about when his wife was battling terminal cancer, and it sort of takes you through all of the stages of that, and also when she passes. Before she passed, she told him and their child, or their daughter who's grown up, but their child, she told them that they need to find a pocket full of happiness every day after she goes. And I was like, what a lovely phrase, you know, it's just another thing to go, just one little thing to make me happy. Because even if you're in the darkest, crappiest, shittiest frame of mind, the worst place, you know, last year I didn't really even want to be here. I really didn't. Even at the beginning of this year, I was like, what is this all about? When I keep going round in circles all the flipping time, you know, I even done a video on my vlog channel saying I was sick of living my life like this, you know, but it's only you that can make that change. And so instead of just walking about moping, feeling sorry for myself and eating myself to death, because that's what I was doing, I was like, do you know what? I'm going to find something to be happy about today. And it would be the smallest thing. It would be like, it was silly even. Like recently, actually the other day, I took a photo. I took a photo of Blossom. There was a blossom tree and I took a photo of it. And I was like, oh, that's just so, it's so like, beautiful, what a nice thing. And it just gave me a little bit of happiness just to see that blossom. And like, it could be anything. Like, I love, you know, you got to find your stuff that you love, but I love really old magazines, and I'm talking really old. They have to be from like the 50s to the 70s. I've even got a 1940s one, and I love to read them because I love the bygone era. And I like looking at the pictures and the adverts and the prices of things, because everything's so fucking expensive now. But I was just like, do you know what? I was like, I just love doing this. This is the nicest thing. At the moment, I'm knitting a tea cosy. And I know it sounds silly, but I was talking to my husband. I was saying we all like a cup of tea now. We drink more tea than we do coffee now we're old. And, you know, I was like, we've got real tea, you know, in the cupboard. And he went, yeah. And I said, oh, I should make a tea cosy for the kettle, because then it would just be such a nice thing to have, a traditional tea cosy, something nice we could have a couple of cups of tea. And he was like, oh, that's a good idea. I thought you were going to make one before. And I went, no, I just didn't bother doing it because I was moping and wallowing in self-pity. So literally, I just started knitting, and then I went, oh, I love knitting. I really enjoy it. There's something therapeutic about knitting. Works out your bingo wings. I bet you didn't know that. I had to look it up because my arms were hurting. But yeah, I had this moment where I was just like, I just love knitting. I really love it. And it gave me a little bit of happiness that day. So even if you're in a really dark place, you can still find one thing. It could be like, you know, listen, you know that I've experienced some really bad crap. You know, I've lost a child. I buried a child. I buried my brother a couple of years ago. You know, people have moments in their life that are terrible. They're awful, and it's tragic. It really is. But you can still find something. You can do it. When my daughter died, it was 14 years ago this year. She was stillborn, so I lost her when I was 38 weeks pregnant. So I had to go, when you have a baby that's that far along, you have to go through a funeral and everything else. They don't, you know, the baby's full term, you go through the funeral. So we done all of that, and right afterwards, I was in danger of really being a mess. I mean, I'd open the curtains in the morning, and I didn't want the world to be carrying on. I was like, why are you all still going about your business? You know, it was a horrible time. Grief is nasty. I had a vicar tell me once that grief is like, it's like rowing against a current and you're about to fall off of a waterfall. You're trying to get back. It's like that all of the time. And so I was going through quite deep grief. But in that moment, I suddenly realised that I wanted to do something in honour of her rather than just sit there moping and feeling sorry for myself. So I went, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to raise some money for the local hospital. So I did. And in my grief, I started to do lists. And my lists originally, I've still got that book somewhere as well. It's so interesting to go and look at it. But I've got a little book where I would write lists of things I needed to do. And that book started off with me writing get up because I couldn't get out of bed. And then the next thing was like shower, eat breakfast. Like I was not doing basic things. So my little thing that I ticked off every day started off with basic stuff. And then I realised that I wanted to do something in honour of her. So I set up a GoFundMe. I put it to the local hospital. I put it in her name. And I gave myself a goal of raising a bit of money to give to special care baby unit at the hospital. And so my list ended up being contact this person, share the fund, just little things. But I would make key rings. They didn't always work out. Like little things that was constantly every day that gave me something to do. It gave me a little bit of happiness and something to aim for, a little goal, a bit of happiness and a goal. And little unbeknown to me, that thing went mad. I even had someone that I'd been to school with that I'd not seen for a long time actually donate their wedding present money to me. And it was just the nicest, kindest, thing. And we ended up raising £1,000, which is then when I decided that that's it. I was going to stop doing that because I needed to then concentrate on me and heal myself as well. But I felt like I'd accomplished something. It gave me that little pocket full of happiness every single day for months and months and months. We'd done all kinds of little fundraisers and things that we needed to do in order to get, there wasn't a goal of £1,000, but it hit £1,000. So when it hit £1,000, I sent the money over to special care baby unit at the hospital. And their lovely fundraising people sent me a message back and told me that money that we'd raised had actually bought 2 respiratory incubators for premature babies. And that meant the world to me. So finding that little pocket full of happiness took me out of that grief because of having something to concentrate on daily that gave me that happiness, and that ended up building up to me, then being able to buy that. And so that happiness kind of goes world viral, like that happiness, it's you find that little bit of happiness and you find something else to be happy about. And for me, that, from that tiny little bits of happiness to that huge amount of happiness, knowing that my daughter's fund that I'd made in her name to honour her had now probably saved lots of other little babies. So just that one thing. So that was just an example of a bigger thing, but just finding a little something every day, even if it's just that the sun's out, or if you're like me, you like rainy days, there's a big there was always a big giggle over on my vlogging channel where I hate the sun. I don't mind it if it's not too hot, but once it starts getting to that summer 90-degree heat, I can't stand it. So I wish for rain all the time. So a rainy day to me is perfect, and that makes me happy. Or, like your pets, they're so cute and happy. Yesterday I gave my daughter's hamster some carrot. He didn't have raisins and stuff, so I decided I'd give him a grape and some carrot, and he was really happy, and that made me really happy because I'd given him this little bit of grape. And I put him some in his by the side of his bowl, and this morning I went up and he'd gone and he'd buried it somewhere else. So yeah, that made him happy and that made me happy. And it's just a small moment in my day, but just something happy. Even if you're having the worst time, I understand what life's like. You know, you're in a job that you hate, you haven't got enough money, you get worried about bills. But if you keep worrying yourself about that stuff, if you just keep thinking it, it's never going to go away, because you're going to find other stuff to worry about. Or if you keep going, oh, my job's so crap, your job's going to be terrible, because you're always going to find something crap about it. I've been there and I've done it. It's not the nicest thing, but try to find something happy, and I guarantee you your life will change. So that's me. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you. But your life will definitely become so much better if you just do this little practice. I promise you that. Have a go. Let me know how you get on. And I say it switches so quickly. Just wake up in the morning and say, today I'm going to have a good day, and I'm just going to be happy just for today. And you'll see within a week or so that your life starts to get so much better, because you're looking for stuff to be happy about. And the universe gives you all that stuff to be happy about, because you're wandering through life like, you know, like a happy person singing sunshine, lollipops, and you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm going to go. I'll see you on the next one.